This is Rich, and this is how I would learn career coaching all over again. So, if you don't know me, I am the co founder for basically two companies right now. One is Product Gym, my baby, which I started pretty much right after I left tech recruiting. I used to be a tech recruiter in California where I helped companies staff for tech positions at an agency. And then also, right now, most recently, I am now part of the Elevate team where we're helping people break into cybersecurity and tech sales, right? But at the end of the day, I'm a glorified career coach, which basically means I'm a glorified resume writer, slash, I provide interview prep, slash, I provide sound negotiation walkthroughs, slash, overall, any type of like advice that people need in either transitioning into their career, either getting the interviews, converting the interviews into offers, or like getting a bigger offer, or like what they should go ahead and do with their career trajectory, but really for these roles in technology. And it's actually really sad that even though we spend most of our life working, we actually really do spend most of our life working. Outside of sleeping, it's working. I'd say like a third of your lifetime is spent like sleeping, and then like the other part of it's actually working. We actually don't even have we only really spend a fraction of our time actually on ourselves. Most of our time is spent working, but we actually know very little about getting a job. If I was to go back in time to about 8 years ago and do it all over again, these are some of the things that I would really go ahead and actually focus on. Is number one, when I first got into the field, what I thought was if I could go ahead and generate results for people, that I was going to be a very successful career coach in terms of I can go out there and make a lot of money. Um, Approaching career coaching from that mindset is actually, it's the right way, but also the wrong way of approaching career coaching. And I'll tell you why. Of course, you want to deliver results, but the truth of the matter is the career coaches that deliver the least amount of results usually make more money than the people that actually can deliver results, because the people that can't deliver results, unfortunately, they do a very, very good job marketing themselves. That's something I noticed early on, and I was determined to go out there and kind of crack both the codes. Like, how do we go out there and market ourselves very well, and how do we also go ahead and actually deliver results? For most career coaches that hit me up, they're like, Rich, isn't that one and the same thing? No. because no. Because I'll tell you guys the truth. A lot of restaurants go out of business because it's not because their food is not great. A lot of like actors go out of, like, they're never going to get those top tier roles where they're getting like the Oscar winning projects or Oscar nominated projects. It's because the more I do what I do, the more I realize everything is about marketing, and people are attracted to certain forms of marketing, which is really feeling connected to whichever individual that's putting their face and their brand name out there. So if I was to go ahead and do it all over again, yes, delivering results is actually very important, which we do for the projects that for the roles that I'm responsible for. But the reality is, what's even more important to people is really the experience that you're selling in actually achieving the end result. This is actually what I tell a lot of like career people that want to go into product management or tech career coaching, is that you start off with, you're really making money as a career coach as you are selling your knowledge of getting a job or getting more interviews, or like how somebody should navigate, and you are really giving your time back to them that they would have figured out on their own. So something that would have taken them 3 years to figure out on their own through trial and error, they're expediting that process through freaking harvesting your knowledge that you have in a particular domain. So they're buying time that you've already spent at a discount. There's only really two or three outcomes from that. It's either one, you believe what it is that I'm telling you, in which case you're a fan, or number two, you think what somebody is saying is total bullshit. There could be both. There's going to be some people that like you and some people that don't, right? Or three, you don't really have an opinion one way or the other, because you're just like, you're just a spectator that's just watching this shit go down. Either way, what makes the result difficult is actually you have to take action now. It's like, I'm going to go out there and make a case that networking is the best way to get this job, or having these 8 certifications is the best way, or da 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 da, whatever it is. I'm sure it works for some people, it doesn't work for everybody, right? But regardless of what the overall thesis is, you still have to go out there and take action. And in taking action, you need to go out there and be consistent for about 45 days. And asking most Americans to be consistent for about 45 days is a fucking exercise in fertility. Like, that is really hard for somebody because most people don't go on the job hunt until they really need to. Because what they don't want to admit in this career coaching racket is we have this like everybody has imposter syndrome. I experience imposter syndrome even though I'm 8 years into the game. Everybody feels imposter syndrome and nobody likes feeling rejected because they take it so personal, and I take it personal too. It's not like I don't, and I also work with a lot of people that do as well, and I think the most important thing is acknowledging it. But if I was to go back, there's always try to figure out how to make the process of achieving the result easier and also how to make it more fun. In terms of quality of people that have come through my programs in the last 8 years, the grit has like the level of grit, persistence, and just like I'm gonna go ahead and do whatever it takes to get this job. That score has just trended lower and lower and lower and lower and lower. I think in an even fight, the first cohort that I've ever worked with would murder, I think, pretty much any other cohort. Thus, after and every single year after that. So, what I would do instead of like, I think like second or third year, I think I kind of realized this is stop expecting people to work hard for something that they should want and stop wanting it like more than they want it is not the good way to look at the business. You actually kind of have to want it more than they want it because they don't really want it for themselves. Even right now, with a lot of people that are being unemployed, they'd still rather be unemployed than working. Because I get companies that hit me up all the time and they're like, hey, can you fill this role for X amount? And then I throw it back into the community. And they're like, hell no, dude, I'd rather be not working than doing that. And they want me to come into the office and get the hell out of here. Right. So expect people to just be lazier, lazier, lazier. But the reality is that's happened across the board, even if people want to take that out of context. Because the people that did very well in my program 8 years ago, if I was to ask them to do that again, I don't think they could do it because like it was just so much work. Likewise, like me, I don't think I could have worked as hard as I did in 2017 as I did 2016 and 2017 as we're talking right now in 2025. I don't really have that in me anymore. So like you cannot hate your target demographic. You have to empathize with your target demographic. Something else that I've also learned is work on building your personal brand because there are going to be ebbs and flows to any business. There's going to be times when people really, 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 really want this job. And then there's going to be times when just across the board, people are just going to be moving a little bit slower because transitioning or getting a job is just not their priority. And there's a lot of seasonality into it. So what we've done to offset that is actually offer more programs, more career transition programs. So having a personal brand actually diversifies your income stream. Third, people don't buy results, they buy the coach and they buy the brand. They're resonating with your story and they feel like you connect with them versus like you're just thinking like you can get a burger for 99 cents to $99, right? You are focusing on getting a burger here because largely I think one of my marketing consultants really sold me on this. Would you buy a Cybertruck if Elon Musk wasn't associated with Tesla? Probably not. Buying a Cybertruck is an association with a particular brand. Like I'm with Elon. I'm a fan of Elon's because he's a disruptor, he's a game changer, he's an innovator, and like he is a man of it. He is a person of influence, right? So you're making a statement of something that you're doing is that you are associating yourself with that individual. So it's not about buying the results, although the results are important. It's like right now people, I think generally in 2025, the biggest difference in career coaching is that career coaches in 2017 had information that people did not have, but they were willing to pay for it because they would want to buy that insight. You're talking about 2025 now. ChatGPT can figure out a lot of that. It comes down to they're not doing it because they're master procrastinators. So you gotta create experiences where it's fun for people to go out there and actually do that stuff, which is why we live stream all of this, all this, because like if in order for you to get results, you have to go out there and take action consistently. And the hardest part is that initial friction where people just don't get into the groove of things. Once they get past that, they're Gucci, but before that, they're not. So that's something that I think people also have to go ahead and realize. Other than that, I would say like overall, that was basically 8 years of career coaching over there in like, I don't know, about 11 minutes. But overall, if for people that want to get into career coaching, that hit me up is you got to go out there and create as much transparency with who it is, how it is that you offer your service. But at the same time, you also have to create layers and filters to how people can go out there and access you, because the number of people that are going to try to waste your time is extremely massive in this racket, because people just want to go out there and talk to people and do nothing. It's like that's the other thing too. Like if I was to learn career coaching again, it's like I used to want to just go out there and talk to everybody, and then now it's like, as I progress, it's like you can't talk to everybody. You also can't help everybody. So you need to scale up your sales team as quickly as possible, because the number of people that are just like, they want to go ahead and get that information pretty much from a human being that they respect, or they have some degree of trust in. But the reality is like they're not going to take any action from it. So because they're just going to keep on trying to milk free information. I find that to be like quite pointless. But with that said, like keep at it. For the people that want to be in career coaching, there's a lot of money to be made in this racket. But time goes by quickly. I can't believe I made it to the 8th year of my career coaching trajectory. Hopefully you make it to your 8th year and beyond.